Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Vasil here, Built for Speed, and today is one of those videos where I was looking everywhere on YouTube how to do this job and I couldn't find it. So when I found out information how to do it, I decided to make one. Here it goes. So today we're working on 2017 Subaru Forester XT, so it's the turbo version 2.0. So it's going to be the same thing for the WRX Impreza, I believe, and the automatic transmission CVT. And the Subaru Forester XT. This is 2017, so I think the XT is, I don't remember what year, but anyways, whichever one has the turbo, it should be the same for all of them for the CVT transmission. So today I'm doing a transmission drain and fill, pretty much, just basic. You can do a filter, I think, by taking the pan and stuff off, but today I'm just gonna do the drain and then fill. I'm gonna show you guys how to drain it, and then where to fill it, and then kind of at what temperature to check the level, kind of all that stuff. So this is going to be a DIY, do it at home. It's on the lift, but you don't really need a lift. You can just lift up the car. Make sure you use 4 jack stands because the car kind of has to be level. Not kind of, it has to be kind of level, as close to level as possible. So, you know, use jack stands or whatever ways I guess you can do it. Just make sure your car is level when you set level, when you fill it in. And then, yeah, to check the level after you heat it up to a certain temperature with the car running, you need the car to be level. Okay, let's go and show you guys where the fill plug is first. So that's the front of the vehicle. This is kind of the back of the transmission, right by the plug on the driver's side of the transmission. You'll see the plug. Kind of in front of the plug, there's a drain plug, fill plug right there. As you can see right there, that's the fill plug. It's facing backwards. If you can maybe look at the exhaust, just kind of to find the plug. If you're kind of searching for it, you can't find it, just kind of look where the exhaust goes, right by the band. Look on top of it, you'll see this plug right there, and right behind the plug, if it's facing towards the back of the vehicle, right there. I believe, let me see what size that is. Where did I put the tool? Right there, actually. It's hex 10 millimeter. It's hex 10 millimeter. That's the fill plug size, so you want to pull that off first, and then drain plug is right there. Pretty simple. So I let it drain for about half an hour. You don't have to let it drain for that long. You can do 5-10 minutes, and then put it in there. I've put that in and then fill it. I drained about 5.5 quarts, so I'm gonna fill it 6 quarts through here. Because if it's just a little bit over, it's not gonna do much. I'm gonna warm it up to about 105 degrees because I think they recommend from 95 to 115, but Subaru technicians recommend about 105. That's about the middle of what they recommend. So I'm just gonna do that, warm it up to 105, and then pull this plug out and let all the excess drain out. Or if I don't have enough, I'm gonna add some until it starts draining out at 105 degrees with the car running in park. Okay, so the fluid I'm gonna use is just Castrol. I just went to AutoZone and asked them which transmission fluid for this. Make sure you tell them it's the Forester XT, the turbo version. Make sure it's not the regular one. And then that's what I pulled up. So I got the Castrol CVT transmission fluid, full synthetic formula. And this is either this or this you can use. This one is like you can put it in the quart and then put one in the transmission and just keep pumping continuously. This one, obviously, you just have to suck it into the pump and then push it in the transmission. This is a little slower, but this one is a little more difficult, so we're gonna have to find, I'm probably gonna use my roll cart, put the quart in there, and then just kind of, so it's not, you know, too low, and I'm just gonna pump 6 quarts in there. And yeah, and then we'll go start the car. Okay, situation update. So, as I told you guys, I drained about 5.5 quarts. So I thought I was gonna be able to put in 6, and when I filled what, about 4, maybe a little 4.5 quarts, it already started leaking out. So I stopped. So I'm gonna start the car up. When the car is running, obviously it's gonna take up all the fluid in, and then when you warm it up, it's gonna get to temperature, and then I'm just gonna pull. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to add some fluid, some more fluid when I warm it up and when the car is running, because right now when the car is cold, the whole fluid from the transmission is on the bottom. So it's from my experience, it tends to leak out. But when you start the car up, it goes everywhere in the transmission, and then you had to add some. But since I put in 4.5 quarts, that's literally that's kind of almost a quart less then I drained out. So either it was overfilled, we'll see anyway. So I'm gonna warm it up to 105 degrees right now. I'm gonna hook up a scan tool, heat it up to 105, and then pull the fill plug and see what happens. If it drains out when I pull the fill plug at 105, then we're good. I'm just gonna let it drain out and then until it starts trickling, really, like dripping really fast, and then I'm gonna just put the fill plug in. And that's good. We're gonna call it a day. But if we don't see anything leaking from this fill plug at 105 degrees with the car running in park, then I'm gonna have to add some. So we'll see. Let's see. Let's go start the car up and warm it up. I'm just gonna shift through gears until it warms up to the temperature. Okay, so when I started the car, I opened this up. There was nothing in there, so I added another cord in there. Actually, 2 cords almost. So I put 6.5, 6, and then half of this one. And now I just opened it. It drained out. I would say maybe half a quart. It's almost there. So total plus or minus about 6 quarts. You're gonna need, I don't think you'll need 7 because I put 6.5 and it's leaking out. As you can see, I don't know, the lighting is that good, but yeah. It's like it's dripping right now. This is trickling, so it's like dripping really fast as you can see. So we're about to close that up. We're good to go on this one. So you wanna wait for the dripping to be like really thin, fast dripping, kind of trickling, and then just close it up. And you gotta be like, I started about 105. By the time I'm level, as you can see, I'm 114. So the range is 95 to 115. I started about 105, and yeah, level is good. So you want to wait until it starts trickling and then just close it up. So pretty much about 6 quarts, I would say, you need to change fluid in this transmission. I drained out about 5.5. I could have been wrong, plus or minus half a quart, but what I kind of saw when I distributed it, like all the quarts and stuff, I drained out about 5.5. So, and I put in 6, so maybe it was a little bit under level, so who knows. That's why I like to buy a little bit more usually. So yeah, I put in about 6.5 after I started it. I put in, before I started the vehicle, I put 4.5. Then I started it up. I added another 1.25 quart before it started dripping out. Then I closed it, warmed it up, and opened it up, and about half a quart drained out. So we ended up about 6 quarts in the transmission to set level at the temperature, which is 105. The range is 95 to 115. It should be okay. You're okay. So if you're like 110 or close to 115, you're fine. Or if you're like 98 to 100, you could start already, because it will take you a little bit, obviously, to to open the plug and all that. So yeah, so about 6 quarts, that's what it took. Okay, so we set level. So now I'm just gonna get a brake cleaner and just spray on the exhaust, spray over there, kind of anywhere it leaked, to get as much of the fluid out like that. So it's good. Now I'm just gonna wipe it down, and we're gonna go for a test road. That's pretty much it. Okay, and then now if you have a scan tool, which if you're watching the temperature, I would recommend even getting the cheaper ones that have the live data that you can access the transmission in. Usually in those, even the cheaper ones, I'll try to find one and post in the description below on Amazon or something, where you can see automatic transmission temperature, which even in those you can clear values. So after you change fluid, you usually want to clear the transmission values, the learning values, because transmission, when you drive, it learns how you drive, it adapts to it. So when you change fluid, you want to kind of clear it all out so transmission can start relearning it again with the new fluid, because you don't want the transmission to act like it was acting with the old fluid with the new one. You want it to relearn it, because I mean, probably over time it will adapt. It will notice that something is different, but it's better to clear it. So I kind of just went into special functions right now. Clear automatic transmission fluid, boom, yes, completed. Turn ignition off. So right now I'm just relearning it with it. This is more advanced transmission, so it's telling me put it in drive. This is more advanced, but at least you want to clear the values and let the car relearn it again. But right now you can see it's relearning the value, so it's telling me what to do. Now put it in reverse. Okay, Now it's in reverse. Learning in progress. Now it says to do a neutral. Turn off the ignition switch. Okay, so we did that. Start engine. And then press the OK button. Automatic learning normally ended. Okay, that's it. But at least you want to clear the values and let the car relearn them. That's the minimum what you need. Sorry, it's dark. What you need to do. But if you don't have any scan tools, I mean, I guess you can kind of use one of those thermometers. They want the, you know, the laser ones where you can point at the oil pan and try to kind of guess when it gets to about 100 degrees. I would probably start doing, because I think the temperature inside is probably going to be a little bit higher. So if you get about 100 degrees, just pull the, you know, the drain plug or the fill plug, I mean, and then set the level that way also. And then if you don't have it clear, the car will learn. So this is not required, but it's better to do so if you have a scan tool. Okay, so after I set level, if you have a scan tool, a higher end scan tool, you can reset the, like, clear the values of the transmission, kind of, because when you have a car and you drive it, the transmission learns how you drive and it adapts to it. So if you change fluid, you might, you know, it needs to readapt to the new fluid, because you don't want the transmission thinking it's the old fluid with the new one and keeps shifting the same way, because you're probably gonna have more slippage with the old fluid. But anyways, so you can clear it. I mean, with mine it's more advanced where I can actually relearn the transmission, pretty much clear and relearn it with the scan tool. But if you don't have, if you have a little bit cheaper one, at least clear the values or reset the values so the car can the transmission can relearn it when you drive it again. But like I said, both of these options are optional. It's recommended, but it's optional. So if you don't have it, the car over time will probably notice, not probably, but it will notice something's different. It will readapt. It may not readapt 100% to the new fluid, but it will readapt. So don't stress out if you don't have a scanner. And then also to check the temperature, if you don't have a scan tool, maybe use one of those laser ones and point it at the pan. But I would probably start pulling the fill plug, the level plug, at about 100 degrees Fahrenheit instead of 105, because the inside temperature probably is going to be a little bit higher. So if you notice the oil pan is about 100 degrees, I would pull the level plug, let it drain out. Once it starts trickling, dripping really fast, close it up, and you should be good to go. That's just my recommendation. If you guys don't have the money, you know, to go service it with somebody, because it's not really cheap service. So hopefully this video is helpful to you guys. I did my best. Like I said, I tried to find some information on this car to how to change the fluid. I couldn't, and if I don't see it, usually I try to make a video about it and post it, so to help you guys out. So this one is going to be Forester XT with the Turbo 2.0 and the Subaru WRX Imprezas. I believe it's the same transmission, if I'm not mistaken. So if this video helped you guys out, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and as usual, see you next time.